Welcome everyone. I trust you all are doing good. I also trust that you should have practiced the first meditation technique that I had discussed in my last video. If you want a recap of the same, you may please scroll down the playlist and find it there. So here I am with my second episode of the easiest yet most profound meditation technique that is bound to make you feel even better. Now this second technique has been taken from the ancient text on Tantra. Now Tantra is a great treatise and highly misunderstood at that in the modern times. I will definitely cover Tantra in some future videos, but for now let us stick to this awesome meditation technique that we are going to discuss today. But it will be good to remember that Tantra is the language of love. Now these days, we generally speak the language of our logic and not the language of love, even with those we claim to be deeply in love with. Now such is the height of our egos that we always try others to convert to our line of thinking because we think that we always are right. But Tantra speaks the forgotten language of love and not that of logic, and this is also the language that Shiva speaks to his wife Parvati, and Parvati speaks to her beloved husband Shiva, the greatest husband that ever lived. Now the same language of love. Today's technique is a product of one such dialogue of love between Shiva and Parvati that has been used by people, the gurus, the preachers from all over the world using different names, sometimes copyrighted and patented for their material benefits too. But it is the beauty of this technique that no matter what, it still is bound to give desired results to whomever who would practice it with curiosity and intent. So here, let us discuss this technique in its raw and most profound form. It is this technique for the people of all ages and all times, past, present, and even those who are yet to be born. Let us start. In Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, Parvati asks Shiva, "O Shiva, what is your reality? What is this wonderful universe? Who is at the center of this universe? What is life beyond forms? And how can we enter it fully above space and time, names and descriptions?" Now it will be good to remember here that Shiva never gives direct answers to Parvati because he wants Parvati to experience it for herself. That is the technique of Shiva. Therefore, in Tantra, it is believed that you die with each outgoing breath and you are reborn with each incoming breath. With each incoming breath, according to the dualistic theory, the Jivatma receives the prana from the universal spirit that is Paramatma. And if you do it properly, then your individual breath, that is the Pinda prana, is united with Brahman prana, the universal prana. So to answer Parvati's questions, Shiva replies, "Radiant One, this experience may be dawned between the two breaths, which means after the breath comes in, that is after you inhale, and just before turning up, that is just before you begin to exhale, you may find the truth, the beneficence." Now this has to be understood actually, because the breath is the bridge between our mind and our body, and between our body and the rest of the universe. Now you may have noticed that when we are excited or angry or happy or anxious, the first thing that happens to us is that our breath becomes abnormal. We start huffing and puffing, isn't it? So it really shows that our thoughts and our breath both are intricately linked with each other, and one affects the another. As we think, and so we breathe, and as we breathe, and so becomes our thought. So in this technique, Shiva is actually asking us to focus on the momentary pause between our two breaths, and that is to say that we have to focus on the pauses between two continuous inhalations and exhalations. So in this technique, we will start by observing our breath. Sitting quietly as we inhale and follow the path, traveling with our breath simultaneously, neither moving ahead of the breath nor falling behind, but being just with the breath. Let our consciousness travel and travel and travel till the time when breath touches the end point inside our body, following that cyclic and psychic path and feeling it touching our navel to complete the inhalation. And then as again we begin to exhale, begin to breathe out between those 2 points, inhale and exhale. When the breath has touched the navel, the inhalation is complete, but the exhalation is yet to be started at that point, at that exact moment, and it is a very small moment, a very, very minuscule moment. There is a pause. And again, as we travel with our exhalation and travel back and up and up and up and out of our nostrils with our outgoing breath, as we complete our exhalation, then again there is a pause just outside our nostrils, just before we are yet to begin our next inhalation. So basically, those two are the points where we have to focus upon. One point is after the exhalation is complete, but in-breath is yet to begin. And that is like 6 inches outside our nostrils in outer space. There is a momentary pause there. We have to focus on that pause. And then we have to travel as we begin to inhale. Travel with our breath going down and down through a psychic path until it touches upon the navel and the inhalation is complete. We now have to focus on the pause when our exhalation is yet to begin. So those two are the points, one at the navel and the other just outside our nostrils. So why Shiva is so much insisting upon those 2 points, those 2 pauses actually? It is because in the moment of those points, the happening is possible. And it is also because in Tantra, it is believed that each inhalation is a rebirth, because each exhalation is death. And this life is the continuum of inhalations and exhalations. That we die each moment and we are reborn with each passing moment, that is the continuation. So, at the moment of these two pauses, because we are neither in this world or that world, there is a stoppage of breath. And because breath is life and lack of breath is death, so we technically are not in this universe or that universe at those two moments. In other words, we are neither alive nor dead. So what Shiva is suggesting to Parvati is that if you can feel that gap, you will know the truth. And that truth is, no one ever lives and no one ever dies. Our soul is beyond this cycle of life and death. Beyond life and death because the soul is eternal. So to start practicing this wonderful meditation technique, we just have to sit in a comfortable position, comfortable posture. It can be any posture that you might be comfortable in. Just remember that you have to keep your spine erect and then forget about your body, and when you are ready, slowly and gently just close your eyes and then begin by focusing on the natural movement of your breath, first onto your chest, just easily and effortlessly. Do not breathe forcefully, let it come naturally and effortlessly. Now, slowly and slowly, you have to bring your focus on those two gaps, moving it from the breath and bringing onto those two gaps. Now you do not focus on the breath. Now you focus on the gaps. It will be good to know that this was the technique that brought enlightenment to Lord Buddha. And then Buddha taught it to numerous people all around the world. But because Buddha was dealing with very ordinary kind of people, he never mentioned this gap. So now you have to make a psychic map on the backboard of your mind, how the breath travels from nostril through the nasal passage until it touches your navel, and then there is a pause before it begins to travel back and up to finally move outside the nostrils up to 6 inches in space when it is met with another pause. So you begin to move your awareness with your breath following this passage and then bringing your focus on 2 points of gaps. The first one at the navel center and then traveling back and up again just outside the nostrils. You do not have to do anything else, anything other than this. Just sit effortlessly, or you may even lie down and take your breath naturally and not forcefully, bringing your focus on those 2 points of gaps between an inhalation and an exhalation. And you continue practicing this If your mind wanders, then let it go, and then, having attended to the distraction, bring it back again on those 2 points or gaps that exist between your incoming and outgoing breaths. Keep practicing. You may start by practicing only for a few minutes to begin with, and as you get settled and comfortable, you may be able to increase this time for up to maybe 5 and then 10 minutes or even more. And as you practice and practice, the wandering of mind will become less and less, and you will start enjoying your meditation until you begin to know yourself better and know the truth about life and beyond. Practice at least for 4 or 5 days and see for yourself if you are getting better and better at it, until the time when I will come back again to you with a new technique in the next episode. Please do subscribe if you have not already done so, and ring the notification bell too. Thank you.